Hey guys, welcome back to my Lady Boss YouTube channel. So today, Callie's joining me. She's like, hi everybody. She's like, I always watch mom make videos, but I never get to be a part of it. Oh, you're so sweet. But anyways, so I just wanted to talk about today 7 really great habits on how to stay consistent and motivated throughout your life. I feel like that's super important for people to kind of get tips on, and just being able to give yourself that extra push, or if you're stuck in a rut. I was like, I know that I have these tips that I do for myself, and that can be really beneficial to help other people. So pretty much before we do get started, Callie says to go ahead and subscribe to Mommy's YouTube channel and to give it a thumbs up because we post videos every Thursday. But other than that, I hope that you enjoy the video, and let's go ahead and get into it right now. Hi, Mama. Yeah. Are you ready to get started into the video? Me too. My tip number 1 is to do it for you. So what I want you to really keep in mind when you're trying to stay consistent with your goals, trying to stay motivated just throughout life, you have to really do things that will satisfy yourself. Because what happens a lot of times is that people get really caught up into being influenced by their friends because everybody's doing it, or they're trying to impress somebody else, or even when it comes down to being told to do something. Those things are only going to be very short-lived because you're not really doing it to fulfill yourself. You're doing it to fulfill some outside factors. So it's like, if you really, really want to wake up in the morning, feel like you can conquer your goals, conquer life every single day, you need to really do things for yourself, and you have to really do things that will make you feel happy at the end of the day. A really great example is for me when I started my YouTube channel. So as many of you may know, I started my YouTube channel about 2 years ago. And I was posting videos, but I wasn't consistent. I couldn't stay on a schedule. I started to fall behind. I just kind of put it as like on the back burner, and like would try to record videos and never got to be consistent with it. So that's why now it's like I wanted to go ahead and be like, hey, this is something that I actually really do enjoy. I like posting videos. I like to share advice. I like to share my rawness. I like to share everything that I have been through, and stuff where I can give advice and just suggestions to other people to be able to help enhance another person's lives. Like, that's what is truly making me consistent and really happy with doing these videos for YouTube. And that is what has kept me going on a consistent basis, where I post videos every Thursday. So whatever it is inside of you that you can find deep down where it's like, hey, I enjoy doing this and I want to go ahead and be consistent with it, you will end up being able to do that. Trust me, there's so many things where you're going to have to go through trial and errors. You're going to have to try one thing and then you may end up not liking it and not be consistent with it. Like, everybody goes through those phases, but that's why my biggest advice to you is don't do it for other people. Do it for yourself, and do things that make you really happy at the end of the day. Stick by those rules, and trust me, you will be consistent. My tip number 2 is to turn it into a challenge. So these are for all the people out there who are super competitive, like myself. And pretty much what I mean by taking it and turning it into a challenge is try to compete with yourself. Because pretty much what I like to do is when I set goals, I like to do things to challenge myself. If you're that same type of person, then this tip is literally golden for you. Because for people who want to feel challenged, who want to be put to the test to see if they can do something and accomplish it, that's where it'll give you that extra drive and motivation to be able to accomplish certain things. And that's when you can also, once you get to that point of being able to complete that challenge that you set for yourself, that'll just keep you more motivated to go on to the next one and the next one and the next one. So for example, I'm going to kind of go off this health kick. I know that I usually use it a lot in my examples, but for example, I have been on a consistent basis drinking this green juice. I am the world's hater of smoothies. I don't know what it is. I know people might think I'm so weird. I just don't like smoothies. I just can't consistently drink it. I'll make it and I'll buy all the groceries for it, but a lot of it will go to waste. And it was just the thing that I just couldn't get over. I know, it's weird. It's just so weird. But anyways, but what happens is I just wanted to set myself up for a challenge to see if I can do it. I was like, hey, I'm on a healthier kick right now. I want to be on a healthier diet than normal, and pretty much I'm going to start doing these green juices. But I'm going to do it, like I said in my tip number 1, I need to do something that I enjoy. So I'm not going to pick one of those like gross celery green juices that everybody's talking about nowadays and doing and all that stuff. I hate celery. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm not going to be consistent with it. So what happens is that I found certain recipes online where it incorporated like apples and spinach and orange juice and coconut oil and like certain things that I knew that I can go ahead and be okay with. So that's why I'm talking about that. My tip number 1 and this tip combined together is very powerful, where it's great if you're competitive. I really highly suggest that to create a challenge for yourself because it really does work and it lights a little fire underneath you, and then you can just run with it and just keep doing challenges and challenges, and eventually at the end of the day, it's like you're kicking ass and you're really conquering your goals and staying consistent with it. My tip number 3 is choose to be better. So pretty much what I want you to really do is I want you to try to prioritize your life in a way where it will benefit your future. So I get it, like a lot of times people just really don't think about it. I get it, it's all about living in the moment. I'm super for that. But when it comes to being really consistent with your life, and when it comes to really trying to stay motivated throughout your whole entire life process, it really comes down to you prioritizing things and what will benefit your future. So if you want to be someone who really wants to be successful down the line, you need to set yourself up to do things to get to that success point that you really feel you need to be at. If you're somebody who really wants to stay consistent, motivated, and you have that drive and you know that it's within you and you know you can do it as long as you set your mind to it, that's where you just need to really focus and be like, hey, here's the steps I need to take. I need to take it 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. Each and every step that you do decide to take will really benefit you in what you're going to become in the future. And I think that's super crucial for a lot of people to think because, for example, I was always told that I had so much time in high school. Like I had so much time in my life to be able to decide what I wanted to be in college, what career I wanted to choose, and just what I wanted to be in life. And in all reality, life passes you by so quickly. You know, one day you're 21, then all of a sudden you're 30, and you're like, where did the time go? You hear that all the time, and that's where you actually really need to try to slow it down in your mind and be like, hey, time is always going to be progressing, and I need to keep up with it. And trust me, as long as you have that long-term goal and that you have that big picture in the back of your mind, you will be able to achieve it and be consistent. My tip number 4 is to see in yourself that you are very valuable. So this is one thing where I talk about a lot in a lot of my videos, where I really focus on the self, the person that you are, and just to harness it and to hone in on it and just know that you're a special person and that you're unique and you have so much to bring to the table. And this is another one where I think it's very important to know that you are super valuable as a person, because what happens a lot of times is that people are super doubtful of themselves. They don't give them enough credit for doing certain things, or that you kind of forget that you have achieved so much and you've come so far and you've gone through so much that you kind of sometimes forget about that. And what happens is when people do forget that, you start to kind of lack your consistency with your life. So I see a lot of people, just trying to get by and just trying to just go through the sluggish motions of things, or they're not happy the moment that they wake up every morning. And that's because a lot of times they don't see the value in certain things or themselves, and they're not motivated to start their day of something with value. So that's why I just always want you to remember that you are super unique and that you are so special, that you have so much to bring to the table, and you never know who else is going to be relying on you at the end of the day, or who's going to admire you and just look up to you. So that's why you have to believe in yourself, that you're just someone who really needs to see value in yourself in order to see value in your life. My tip number 6 is to create short-term attainable goals with a time frame. So this is also really important as well too. I know that I mentioned previously that you want to look at the big picture and kind of do things that'll set you up for your future. But pretty much when it comes down to the short-term goals, it's very, very, very important that you do attainable ones with a time frame. So that's super crucial, because what it is, even if you have this huge big picture of that you want to be owning a house at this certain age, or you want to be married by this certain time, or that you want to be super successful in your career and be a CEO, or whatever it is that you want to attain in your life, it's like you need to go ahead and follow a journey. There's a certain path that you need to follow and be able to take those baby steps in order to get there. So for example, if you want to go ahead and own a house eventually, a lot of times that's super intimidating to other people. People, first of all, think it's a lot of money. They think that they don't really know how to start or where to start. And then it's just like something that's too big for people to wrap their heads around. But in all reality, if you go back to what I had said, is to create those short-term goals. So say, for example, that you want to own a house like 5 years from now, right? So the short-term goal would be within 6 months, I want to go ahead and save $5,000. That's super attainable to do. And honestly, if you're able to hit that goal within 6 months, that's going to help you really stay motivated and to keep you consistent. And all of a sudden, it'll be that time where you're like, oh my gosh, I have so much money to be able to put towards my down payment. And then it'll be one of those things where you just got in that really great habit and routine to do. So that's why I think that setting these short-term goals with a time frame are super important, because it's going to light that fire underneath you, it's going to create that spark, and that's how you're going to gain that consistency and also be really motivated and just wake up with something to look forward to every single day. And that's one thing that's really important. And I know that like a lot of my tips are kind of like going all into each other, but that's where it's all about the process and the steps and the journey that you need to take. My last and final tip is to create time in your schedule. So if you're that type of person who's super organized, who has a calendar, who likes to block time out for certain things, this tip is perfect for you. So if you're one of those people who really needs to sit down and just block out like an hour at a time for you to focus, kind of regroup and just gather up ideas, so this will really help try to create like a foundation for yourself. And it's going to help you really kind of organize your thoughts, organize what you want to do going forward, and just really help you get into that mode of just saying, hey, okay, if I set this hour, I can set my time frames, I can get myself organized, and I can really try to get my life in order. And that's where I feel like it's really important to set aside a time to be able to really focus on this type of thing. All right, so I'm going to close out this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and it really learned something from my 7 tips on how to stay consistent and motivated throughout your life. I really hope that you can really utilize them and that it will help you in some way, shape, or form, because like I said, these tips have worked for me and I'm just here to share and spread my advice with you, and I hope that they do work. But other than that, I'm going to close out this video. I will see you all next week, and thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.